Do I think the guy who gave me herpes knew he had it? Girl, that's the question I get asked all the time since I talk about my herpes publicly. And to be honest, I'll never really know, but I'm gonna break it down because I got that in the comment section of my last video talking about what it was like during like the first week I found out I had it. So I'll say this. From what I remember, flashback to 2018, I was having a situationship, an on and again, off again situation with this guy in Chicago who I met on Instagram. Just all type of red flags right out the gate. But I mean, I don't know. Anyway, so we had a summertime shy situation. We ended up having sex. I ended up getting herpes. But I'm trying to go back and remember in my mind if I remember any type of bumps or sores or any type of physical outbreak symptoms on his genitals. And I feel like I might have maybe remembered something, maybe. I don't know. At this point, I don't know if it's like a phantom outbreak or my mind's making it up or I didn't. But it's not like he told me he had it. It's not like he had been complaining of any type of like itching, burning, any symptoms. Like he never brought it up at all. So people ask, did we use protection? Not every single time. So to get that question out the way as well. But you can have protected sex and still get herpes. That's a different story for a different day. So I don't know if he knew he had it and wasn't having an outbreak. I don't know if he didn't know he had it, he was asymptomatic. So yeah, I don't know. So back then, like I said, he was the last person I slept with. I went and got tested and I tested positive. Back then I thought herpes was the type of STD to where the last person you slept with was the person who gave it to you. Upon doing research and time passing, I realized that's not how herpes works. But back then, it made me look at him like I was ready to go to jail. I was ready to drive to Chicago and commit a crime because I thought, because I tested positive and he was the last person I dealt with, it must have been him. That's not how herpes works. But again, and in that season of my life, it was very much his fault. It was very much, he was dirty. It was very much like, not just dirty, like STD wise. Like I had all the things to say about how dirty his apartment was, how he wasn't like I had all these bad things to say about him. Like when I thought he knew he gave me herpes, but again, I was choosing to deal with him. Whew, accountability is crazy. So yeah, back then when I thought he was who gave it to me, I had all the smoke for Chicago. That's his nickname. I had all the smoke for Chicago. But as I began to educate myself, y'all, I went in and got tested just so I could have peace of mind. I wasn't even having any symptoms. I haven't had an outbreak to this day. I'm what's called asymptomatic, meaning that I don't even have any outbreaks, any symptoms of the virus. But my body has fought off the virus at one point. But I am asymptomatic. So it didn't really affect my life until I became aware of the fact that I had it. And I don't even know, like I said, if he was the one who gave it to me. So yeah, I was asking myself all the questions. I was mad at him. I was confused. I always like to say, it doesn't even matter if he knew he had it. The bottom line is now I have it and I can't unhave it. So realizing that getting the answer to that question was not going to take my herpes away. It wasn't going to reverse the diagnosis. I was able to bit by bit release the grip of that thought from my mind, needing to know. Because again, sometimes it's a minority. The minority of people actually can definitively pinpoint who gave them herpes. For a lot of people, you will never know. Because you go so long without having symptoms and then bam, maybe you have an outbreak. Something triggers an outbreak. But it doesn't mean it was your most recent or current partner. Oh my gosh. It just forced me to take a level of accountability that I had never taken before in my life. Because I had to be like, Amber, again, you chose to have sex with him. You chose, y'all, when I'm blinking, my eyelashes are getting stuck to my bottom lash. You chose to have sex with him. You chose to not know the status of his STD panel. You saw the red flags. You knew it was a situationship. You were reaching. You were bored. You wanted something to do. You wanted somebody to do. You wanted somebody to do stuff with. And because I had been single for a few years, maybe I hadn't had sex in a few years. I can't even remember. Like, I just remember it was like a drought and I was bored and he was cute and I wanted something to do. So that's why I ended up dealing with him. Something very temporary, but was making long-term decisions, like giving somebody my body. Because again, now I'm stuck holding the bag. So yeah, if you're newly diagnosed, look, I spent months, maybe even years, fixating on having to know or wanting to know if the person who gave me herpes actually knew they had it. But at the end of the day, you knowing the answer to that question, what is that going to give you that's going to help you move forward in your healing? I don't know if you just need the validation of being right, like I told you so, because that's about all you're going to get from the confirmation of the person knowing or not. Take the power and place it in your hands. So once you release control, release the grip of having to know, now your hands are open to take the power back and say, regardless of how I got it, now I have it, what am I going to do with it from here? Because that's the part where everybody stays stuck. Everybody's stuck in they did that. Okay, but now what? Because that's when you have to actually choose and decide how you're going to move forward. And that's the position I was forced to be in. And so, you know, fortunately, it was a herpes diagnosis that forced me to get there. But hey, here we are. So, Lord, that's all we got for today. But keep your head up, keep going, keep showing up, keep doing the work, and I'll catch y'all on my next video.